Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we got some news to talk about because it's kind of hitting the news today, but it's hitting it for the wrong reasons. And although a lot of people that haven't been following this is just going to confuse a lot of people, and that's kind of the point. It's kind of to make the liberal media look super stupid because they've hit a new level of Trump derangement. They have gone full panic mode when Donald Trump said, oh, maybe I'll be a third-term president. We've got Trump 2028 hats going around. It's getting the liberal media really, really, really concerned. You have CNN saying, oh, Trump, he's going to change the Constitution. He's going to make himself dictator. And I'm like, dude, you're falling into his trap. And now that, of course, NBC decided to deliver the biggest blow to the media, and I didn't say it's their media because they're liberal media. It's the biggest blow because they could have just kept it to themselves, but now liberal media is making themselves look very stupid. We've learned this in high school, middle school. Presidents can't serve 2 terms. Kids know that. Like, presidents can't serve 3 times. Kids know that. Kids from middle school that are studying World War II will recall that FDR so impactful that they had to make the said office of the presidency limited to only 2 terms. They will bring that up. And now liberal media saying, breaking news! Trump weighs in on third-term speculation. Trump says he won't seek a 3rd term from the BBC. Then he goes, Trump plays down talk of a 3rd term, backing Vance and Rubio from the NYT, New York Times. Will Trump seek a 3rd term? President settles debate. This is just making the liberal media look really, really, really bad and really stupid. And unless you're not a liberal, because that's the peak of stupidity, right? When you are a liberal, you can't think clearly. And when you have a certain degree of TDS, you obviously can't, you can't put 2 and 2 together. You're basically like an animal. At this point, like, you have the common sense of an animal. Like, you bring your dog and the dog sees the vacuum and he gets scared. Oh, and you don't even connect like it's a vacuum, bro. But anyway, you end up like being that. But anyway, this is, I think, was the whole part of Trump's plan. It wasn't, Donald Trump was never considering a 3rd term. And a lot of big Trump supporters were saying, will we run for a 3rd time? And the answer is no. And I knew. I wasn't necessarily that type of person. I was going to go, yeah, Trump, 2028. And I knew it because I knew it wasn't going to happen, number one. There's going to have to be a lot of maneuvers, a lot of changes. And ideally, I mentioned it in a previous video like a month ago, by the time we changed that amendment, we would already have the next president in. It would be like 2020, 2030 or something when that amendment gets passed. So we know for sure, yeah, Trump's not running for re-election in 2028. And number 2, he's too old. And it's nothing to be ashamed about. But Donald Trump, he's going to be old. He's going to be tired. And like I said, nothing to be ashamed about. But the thing is, the reason why we pick on Biden is he should have not ran in the first place because of his age. Trump, obviously, has passed the cognitive tests. He is good in health. He's a good public speaker. He's has a lot of energy. But, it could die down over the course of his term in office, and that's to be expected. He is going to leave office at 82. So then again, it would be smart I think Donald Trump, he just wants his 8 terms like 8 years like every other president, like Obama, Bush, Clinton, Reagan, Nixon didn't have 8 years. Yeah, we keep forgetting, but those presidents, like everyone else, 8 years. And obviously, Donald Trump doesn't like being a part of the 11 presidents that lost re-election. He doesn't, and I don't blame him. And he feels like he should get. And hey, I have news for you. I mean, he set a very historical accomplishment. The very first president since Grover Cleveland, which was in 1892. That was like how long ago? Over 100 years ago. 1892. You have no one to go to ask, hey, how old were you when Grover Cleveland suddenly came back to the White House and served a non-consecutive term? And they're like, you have no one because they're all dead. They're all deceased. But we in the present day are seeing this very unprecedented moment. And a lot of the liberals think unprecedented is negative. Unprecedented is spontaneous. Unprecedented is historical. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. Period. It's historical. It's something it's spontaneous. It's interesting. It's something definitely to be proud about. But yeah, I always knew Donald Trump wouldn't be running for re-election. That thing was a joke. I knew it from the beginning. I'm not bragging. I just think it was obvious common sense because, it's in the Constitution. And period. You have a matter of 4 years. And imagine this. Donald Trump obviously wants to focus on making the country great again. And he's not going to be worried about running again because that kind of defeats the purpose. Like, you're not doing what you wanted to do, right? Be president. So I think Donald Trump wants to enjoy his 4 years being in the White House instead of wasting his 4 years trying to stay in the White House, which is a stretch. So get that out of your heads. Not going to happen. We knew it wasn't going to happen. The win here, though, for conservatives, the liberals fell into the trap. We have these stories, and we have Kirsten Welker from NBC. She's saying, "Oh, what about third term?" And Trump just laughs because you guys are taking that seriously. Like, you guys are so stupid. It's like, guess what? I can't think of the most dumbest joke on the planet. Or something like that. Oh, there's a kangaroo outside, even though I live in Canada or Minnesota or something like that. I'm like, whoa! I can't see where's the kangaroo? I can't see it. Where? Show me! Like, you actually believe it. Ridiculous. But anyway, this kind of exposes the IQ of the liberal media. And speaking of IQ, Donald Trump went off on the future leader of the Democratic Party, and they have no one but Jasmine Crockett, or Jasmine Cricket, or Crockett, or Jasmine Crockett. We know her name's actually Crockett, but of course, Donald Trump's going to, of course, fire at Jasmine Crockett, who is obviously, from her very, very weird and unusual stunts, from fist pumping on a TikTok video that went wrong, to swearing and cussing in the House of Representatives, and then making fun of people in wheelchairs, specifically the governor of Texas, who unfortunately had a tree fall on him. It is a miracle that he survived. I mean, a tree? Come on, a tree on you. And apparently Jasmine Crockett thinks that's very, very funny. And then she's just a very bad woman. She's a mean-spirited. You want to talk about mean-spirited? Jasmine Cricket the Crockett, whatever. And Jasmine Crockett's going to get very butthurt, and she's going to cry racism, as says the title above. Ghetto Democrat Jasmine Crockett lashes out, crying racism over Trump calling her low IQ in the Meet the Press interview. Well, it's true. I mean, it's like, hey, you have black hair. Racism! Well, it's true, Jasmine. You have black hair. You have long hair, Jasmine Crockett. You can't call out the obvious, otherwise it's racism. We know the grift. But let's take a look at this interview. Very small snippet, which Trump is going to hilariously call Jasmine Crockett low IQ. A favorite word of his.
It's transformed the country,
the
quite frankly.
Political movement in history, MAGA. Make America great again.
When you look to the future, Mr. President, do you think the MAGA movement can survive without you as its leader?
Yes, I do.
What gives you...
I think it's so strong, and I think we have tremendous people. I think we have a tremendous group of people. We talked about a number of them. You look at Marco, you look at J.D. Vance, who's fantastic. You look at, I could name 10, 15, 20 people right now just sitting here. No, I think we have a tremendous party. And you know what I can't name? I can't name one Democrat. I mean, I look at the Democrats, they're in total disarray. They have a new person named Crockett. I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. And they said, she's the future of the party. I said, you have to be kidding. I don't know what they're going to do. And I really believe in a two-party system. Because it's good to be challenged. It's really good to have a two-party. You know, it's good. Being challenged is okay. It keeps you sharp. I don't know what they're going to do. They have nobody. Bernie's 87 years old or something. And, you know, Biden is the worst thing that ever happened to old people because he was grossly incompetent. And I think maybe for artificial reasons. You know, he had operations and things. So maybe that's an artificial. But I know people that are unbelievably sharp, and they're older than 87. But I watch Bernie Sanders. He's a nut job, but he's still sharp. He's sharp as he's the same guy he was.
And we'll stop there. But yes, Donald Trump weighing in on the disarray of the Democratic Party, and he's absolutely correct. Because this party has completely lost it. Completely lost it. They've gone off the walls. What I mean? Oh, yeah. Party's gone off the walls. They're saying, who's your alternative? Well, if you were smart, you would say, Georgia is a swing state, right? We should run Raphael Warnock. Raphael Warnock. No, we can't run Raphael Warnock. He's not a woman. He's not gay. He may be black. That's one infinity stone of wokeness. But he is a Christian, so we can't do that. He was a Baptist, and he kind of, sure, he supports the trans community. It doesn't really make him look good as a Christian, but he's straight. Yeah, he's a Christian. You have all the cons except for the fact he's black, so he's off the table. Not to mention he's big establishment. And he kind of has to be in Georgia. But so they have Raphael Warnock. Nope, can't do him. John Fetterman. I mean, he's the most sane one in office right now in the Senate. Nope, he's a fascist. He's a right winger. He comes from Pennsylvania, so I would consider having no. He's a fascist right wing. Okay, Roy Cooper. Roy Cooper's good. No. He supports Israel. They all support Israel except for the establishment, the anti-establishment. But Roy Cooper, he's white, he's straight. Basically a Southern Tim Walz. Nope, he's off the... They're rejecting the people that could actually deliver wins for the Democrats. Josh Shapiro. Nope, he's a Jew. No, he will turn off the pro-Palestine, who knows? Maybe the Israel-Hamas war would be over? The Gaza war? Well, I'm hoping it'll end. It better end. Mark Kelly? I mean, he could possibly I think he will flip Arizona back. No, not Mark Kelly. No. He's straight. He's white. He's a man. Nope. No infinity stones of wokeness. What about Catherine Cortez Masto or Senator Cortez Masto from Nevada. Nope, can't do her. Okay, then trying to help you out here. Tony Evers is unpopular. He's not good. I'm trying to think of a Wisconsin politician. All they have is the judge. Or how about this? Tammy Baldwin. She's gay, but she's white. She may be a woman. You always have to do the identity politics with the Democrats. And then there's Michigan. You got the obvious answer, Gretchen Whitmer. Oh, she's meeting with Trump. She's kissing Trump's butt. She's meeting with the military with Trump. She's wearing a hat. Not a MAGA hat, but a hat. And that's horrible. So, Democrats, they have the answers right in front of you. This doesn't have to happen. Democrats, come on. You have the answers right here. Democrats, I get these stupid comments. Oh, Democrats, they're coming back. They're going to kick Trump out of office. What? Well, guys, I don't think that's going to happen. Well, you guys have to work it out with the other half of your party. It's like having this sort of disease or disability. I'm not trying to take advantage or be disrespectful to people that have this condition. As far as I know, I don't know that this condition exists, but it's like having your one arm working and your other arm not working, or your other arm doing something else, and your brain can't function and control them correctly. There's no communication between your two arms. One arm says, reaches to open the door, your other arm tries to shut the door, but it's not. That's that's a very unrealistic. I think it's a condition. I don't know. I mean, hey, anything can happen in this world, but it's like having that. This is what the Democratic Party has, that condition. That other hand, the populist left, they're not communicating with the establishment of their party. They want nothing to do with the establishment. And when that other half is communicating, you can't fight with one hand. You can't fight an army with one hand. You can't fight a competitor, whether it be jiu-jitsu, karate, or just wrestling. You need both arms to wrestle, not just one. And if you do it with just one, you might end up with a broken arm. So the Democrats, they're saying, oh, Trump, he's destroying the Republican Party. Democrats are back. Well, I disagree. Number one, Democrats, their approval ratings not getting better, it's actually getting worse. They're losing young people. That is supposed to be the base of the Democratic Party. That's a problem. Number two, there is literally a civil war going on right now. You have zero concern of Bernie and AOC running around the West, those populous states that I talked about a couple weeks ago. Montana. Everyone's like, oh, well, lots of crowds showing up in Montana. Yeah. Because the Democratic Party is basically the Bernie Sanders-like type. They're populists. Same deal with Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado, Wyoming, South Dakota, along with Utah, Nevada, Idaho's a big one, Oregon, Washington, the western states that formed the populist movement back in the 1890s. And that gave Wilson the victory in 1912 and 1916, that gave Roosevelt the victory 4 times, and some of them even voted for Bill Clinton. So I'm not surprised. Oh yeah, all of them are Democrats. Not one of them are Republicans, unless they want to go there and troll around and screw around. Then yeah, sure. But we should expect a lot of people to show up in these deep red states in the West, because that is the Democratic Party. The populists are the establishment in the western states, the deep red states, including Colorado. But anyway, I want to wrap up by looking at some previous polling. So yeah, you'll see. These polls are really good for Republicans. Why? Well, you got Kamala Harris, J.D. Vance race, and we know Kamala Harris is going to defeat J.D. Vance by popular vote. She can't. She is just so stupid. She can't even get I'm like, yeah, you came up, you got 48%. Where was all the women? Where was all the Gen Z women? You said there was going to be armies of them. That they were going to fight for their reproductive rights. They were going to go into line, and MSNBC took us into the line on election night and introduced us to the Gen Z woman. Only to find out that Kamala Harris won New Jersey, a big Gen Z female suburban state, by 5 points. No way! Harris ain't winning! So take this poll right here from On Point and throw it in the garbage. J.D. Vance getting 41%, while Kamala gets 43%. Throw it in the garbage. New poll said today, just recently, that most Americans would still prefer Donald Trump over Kamala Harris. 5 months into the Trump administration, 100 days in, people still hate Kamala Harris. She's weird. She is annoying. Her laugh is out of control. People don't like her. And they're still doubling down. That's just what I'm talking about. She doesn't come from a state of interest, like a swing state. She comes from solid blue California. And here's the thing also. Whether that be J.D. Vance who seizes the nomination, which is J.D. Vance has a commanding lead. But whether that be J.D. Vance, the average being Kamala +2. What's a Kamala +2 victory? Basically, J.D. Vance wins the Electoral College, 297 electoral votes. You also have Nevada going rightward in registration. Arizona, rightward in registration. North Carolina, rightward in registration. Georgia, rightward in registration. And ideally, you just need Pennsylvania and you win. That's your key to victory. But that is pretty much it. Donald Trump has not really said, and honestly, it really isn't Donald Trump's choice. It's the people's choice. It's the Republican Party's choice who the Republican nominee is going to be in 28. It would likely be J.D. Vance. Vance is leading by over 20 points. Wider lead in the primaries compared to Harris. That's because you have such a lot of people that want Buttigieg. You want a lot of people that want the populist left. You even have Cory Booker Democrats. You have Gavin Newsom Democrats. You got all these crazy people running. But of course, I'm sure Donald Trump can say his preference. But I don't think he's going to endorse anyone. Why? I think he knows if he endorses that he's basically rigging the primary, because the Republicans will do whatever Donald Trump does. The Trump endorsed would be J.D. Vance. They're all going to go for J.D. Vance. Well, some might want Marco Rubio. So I do think Donald Trump will probably not endorse and say, hey, look, guys, MAGA, it's an open field, vote for whoever. And I would rather have that. I would rather have the Republican Party be united and not revolt like we did in 24. I mean, it was very minor, but a lot of Republicans were not going to vote in general election if Haley got that nomination. And I wouldn't be happy about it because I knew it would be over. But I would like to see a primary where we have establishment Republicans out. And this is Trump's party. We should have an open field like Tulsi Gabbard. You can have, RFK Jr. I'm open with him running, making America healthy again. You have Marco Rubio. I'm sure he will make a good comeback. You have, I'm sure Vance will run. You have DeSantis, even though DeSantis has kind of ruined his career. I was a big DeSantis person for a while before I started this channel, and I'm like not feeling for him anymore. But I tell you, I do agree with like 90% of what he stands for in regards to parenting. And I think he's a strong candidate for that. But it's going to be an open field, and I'm telling you, we're going to have over 20 politicians running for president. And I'm looking forward to that season. But But we're living in the moment, right? We're living in the moment. Our goal is trying to get this economy back on track. Really, if Ukraine and Russia, if they don't want peace, they don't want peace. That war is not our big deal. Israel, Hamas, we have an obligation in protecting Israel. That war is 60 times a priority than Ukraine, to be honest, because we want to end the Gaza war and making sure that this economy is getting back on the right track, along with mass deportations and ultimately winning those New Jersey and Virginia races. I know they're not necessarily our races to win. 2025 is not going to be the good year for Republicans. We knew this way before this 2024 race began. Why? Because, we knew this after Donald Trump won. Because A, we are the majority party. These elections usually go the opposition's favor. And number two, these are Kamala Harris plus 5 states. So you honestly have to expect the unexpected and expect a low turnout and expect Democrats to win. But anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this video? Let me know down below. And as always, I will see you all in the next political episode.